Math 1, we are going to do a lesson on putting everything together. If you are listening with sound, please draw a star up here in the right-hand corner. And please draw a smiley face right here on your paper. Okay, great. We are going to take a look at taking a Desmos screenshot from the Chromebook and making the equation with it. So the equation, is right here if you need help. Y equals mx plus b. And we are going to use the values from Desmos to write the equation. So y equals, let's go get the slope, the m. The m number right here, we're only going to use 2 decimals. And after the 1 is a 5, which is a big number. So we are going to bump 1 up to 2. So the slope is 47.62. We always put the x after the slope. And now we need the y-intercept, which is the b. Again, we're going to take 2 decimals. Is under my finger big or small? That's a small number. If it is small, then you keep it a 5. I'm going to write a minus since it's negative. Okay. So when you do your rounding, the small numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the big numbers are 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The big numbers you would bump up, and the small numbers you just stay. We never go down. The correlation coefficient, is always going to be this little r. We're never going to do the r squared. And let's round this to 2 decimal places. So the correlation coefficient is 0.9. The next number is a 3, which is small, so we will keep it a 6. Okay? You will have to take a screenshot and form the equation from the information. Okay. Something else we have to know how to do. Interpret a relationship. Okay? And the sentence for this starts as, that's how the sentence starts. There's 3 ways you know if it's increasing or decreasing. So increasing, increase means that the data is positive, the dots are going up, your correlation coefficient is positive, or the slope of the line is positive. It will be decreasing if the dots are going negatively, if your correlation coefficient is negative, or the slope is negative, that means the line is going down. We're going to interpret the relationship for this story right here. This table is time in hours and the distance in miles. So the sentence always starts as the. The first part of the sentence always uses the X words, and then the second half talks about the Y words. So let's go look at our table. We need the X words. This is going to be hours. I know that this data is increasing. It's got positive correlation. It's got a positive slope, So the data is increasing, and if you want, you can draw a little picture that says time with hours along the X. And we always say increase as the hours increase. We always say increase. And now we're going to go look at the Y. What's the Y words? So on a table, we have X and then Y. So the Y is the distance in miles. If you want to draw a little picture here, we would put distance, with miles. So, as the hours increase, the distance in miles increases. Okay? And the reason you know that is because the correlation is positive, which means the dots are going up. The slope of the line is positive. Okay? So your line of prediction is going up. Okay, the next thing that we studied was strength and direction. Okay, so here are the important numbers, none or 1, and then everything in between. Okay, so 0.01 to 30 is considered weak. Okay, so the weak is going to be right here or right here. And the numbers for that are 0.30. You could also go negative 0.30. And then the next section, okay, is going to be moderate. That's if you're between 30 and 70. So between 30 and 70, okay, this is moderate on the positive side, and this is moderate on the negative side. And then finally, you're going to be strong, okay, if you are between 0.70 and 0.99. So strong is right here, strong positive. Here is strong negative. And then of course we have these special ones. Okay, none or perfect. None means that you have an exact 0. And then 1 or negative 1 is if it is perfect. Okay, that's a nice little note card that we have so we can use this. So 15. 15 is between 0 and 30. That would be considered weak. And is it positive or negative? It is positive. Take a look at the strength. Sometimes I cover up the negative side. I don't care about that. 85 is a big number. 85 is more than 70. That is strong. And is it positive or negative? Oh, it was negative. Okay, so it's strong negative. Okay, let's keep going. You have to be able to use equations to make predictions. So you use the line of best fit, which is the line of prediction. Okay, we have to read the story here. So it says that your x variable is the days in school. That's the x variable right there. And it says that the y variable is the number of students. So that would be the y variable. They want us to predict the number of students who owe fees if it is 10 days of school. So is 10 the days of school, the x or the y? Looking at these directions here, days of school is x. So I put a little x, and I'm going to put the number 10 into the x spot. Y equals negative 3.45. Let's replace x with a 10 plus 127.53. I like this one. This one's easy. Okay, when you have the input, you're going to type it in. So let's just type this in our calculator here. Times 10 plus 127.53. Okay, please type that in, and let's see what you get. Y equals. It comes out with 2 decimals, so we don't need to round. 93.03, but now I need to put a word, and this is y. The y variable was the students who owe fees. Students who owe fees. Okay, so I just copy all the words there. For this next one, we have to predict the days it will take for 5 students to owe fees. 5 students to owe fees. Let's go see. That is the y variable. So we will put 5 into the y spot. 5 equals. So they gave us the y number this time. Sometimes they give us x, sometimes they give us y. The most common mistake people will make is put the number in the wrong place. Beautiful work, but it's not the right place to put the number. So for this one, when they tell you output, we have to solve. Using our solving skills, let's subtract 127.53 from both sides. Okay, negative 3.45x. And what do you get right here? Okay, I'm getting a negative, which is really weird. Okay, but that's okay. Because in a second, we're going to divide both sides by a negative, and that's going to make it become positive. Cancel, cancel. Okay, so x equals, let's do this calculation right here. I will divide by negative 3.45, and we're going to have to round this answer. So cover everything up. 51. Let's see what's under my finger. Is that a big or a small? 5 is a big, so we have to move that up to 52. 35.52. Now I need to put a word here. I need the words for x. Let's go look at our story because I thought I highlighted this. Right here, the x variable is days of school. That's what you write, days of school. You will have a couple of calculations to do on your test. Sometimes they give you a graph, sometimes they give you an equation, and that's how you do it. Okay? You can also make predictions from a graph if the graph is really nice. Okay? So let's take a look at this graph. We're going to predict the number of hours of sleep if they drink 9 cups of coffee. So let's go to cups of coffee, which is our x, and we're going to go to 9. Now when it says predict, we look at the line of prediction. Okay, so we're not going to go to the dot, we're going to go to the line, and the answer is 2 hours of sleep. We predict 2 hours of sleep. Okay. Remember, you have to have a number, and then you have to have the word. Now let's do it again. They want us to predict the number of cups of coffee if somebody got 7 hours of sleep. So let's go to hours of sleep. Let's go to 7. It says predict. Do I go to the line or the dot? We're going to go to the line of prediction again. So here's the line, and the x number is 2. We predict 2 cups of coffee. Okay. What did the question say? Predict the number of cups of coffee. Perfect. I said 2 cups of coffee. I answered the question. Okay. And finally, it says, how many hours of sleep did someone actually get if they drank 3 cups of coffee? When they want to know, okay, what really happened, okay, for real, we don't look at the line of prediction. Okay, we look at the dots, which are the data points. This is the data from the study. So let's go to 3 cups of coffee. Okay? And we're not going to go to the line. We're going to go to the data point. Here's the data point. So how many hours of sleep did they actually get? Actually, they got 8 hours of sleep. So the predictions are a lot more fun when you use the graph, but a lot of times you'll have to use the equation because the graph isn't easy to read, okay, if it's in the middle. All right, the last thing that we have is interpreting. Okay? Interpreting the slope means we have to make a sentence. Now, this is the line of prediction. Okay? And I know sometimes people like to highlight this, or they even wrote on here prediction. Okay? The line of prediction. So if I make a sentence about this, I'm going to start my sentence by saying, we predict. We predict, because it's the line of prediction. Okay. And here's how it works. More or less delta y every delta x. So let's go get the slope from this graph. Let's just zoom in right here. Okay. I see that it's starting at 3. No, we have to find a nice point. That's not, no, almost. Here is a nice point. 1, 2, 3, up. 3, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. Let's check to make sure I did that correct. It should work again. 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. 3 up and 5 to the right. Okay, so that is the slope. This is my delta y and delta x. Okay, since it's positive, okay, it's going up and it's going right. Okay, now let's look at the graph to get the words. The y words are the shots, okay, how many basketball shots they made, and the x word is the hours of practice. Okay, so let's predict the slope. Let's talk about this stuff. The top number is 3. Is it more or less? 1, 2, 3. It's definitely 3 more shots made. 3 more shots made, okay? And then this is the delta x. Every 5, and then I have to use these words, hours of practice. Okay. So if you need some hints on how to do that, we predict more or less y every x. And again, number, word. You might have to do it from an equation. Okay? When you do slope from the equation, we have to look at the slope, which is the m, okay, which is going to be right here in front of x. So the delta y and delta x, we have negative 3.45 over a 1. This is negative, so it goes down and over. And let's put some words here, okay, just to make my sentence easier. The y words are, the students. The students. And then what are the x words? The x words are, days of school. So this is my setup to interpret slope. Okay, now remember, since this is the line of prediction, we're always going to start with we predict. We predict. And let's go take a look, okay? The top of the sentence. I'm not going to say negative. I'm going to say 3.45, and negative means less. That many less students. Where's the rest of the word? Who owe fees. Okay. And now what about the second part of the sentence? 3.45 less students every 1 day let's say the whole thing. Days of school. And we just have to remember to say we predict. The y-intercept is very similar to that. Okay, we predict 0 somethings. There was b something. So the y-intercept is always 0 and b. 0 has some x words and b has some y words. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this graph. From a graph, the y-intercept, okay, or the b, okay, is always on the y-axis. It's right here. Okay, that is the point 0 and 3. And once again, okay, since this is the line of prediction, I have to start my sentence with the words, we predict. We predict. Okay. And I'm going to say what we predict right here. We predict 3. We predict 3. This is the x, this is the y. Here it is. I predict 3. 3 what? We have to say these y words. Shots made. Okay, so I said the number, I said the word, but now I have to make sure, okay, that I also explain the 0. 3 shots are made with 0. 0 is the x number. Let's make sure we say these x words. 0 hours of practice. The x number, the x words. Okay. You also have to be able to do this without seeing a picture. If they give you the equation, okay, the y-intercept is the b number right there. But they'll explain to you what x and y mean. So the y-intercept for this problem is 0, comma, 127.53. Okay, and I have to explain those things. So since this is the x number, okay, that number is going to go with these words, days of school, and the y number, okay, would go with the y words, which is number of students who owe the fees. So let's finish these notes. We predict. Okay, we always start with predict because it's the line of prediction. And we predict this stuff. 127.53, what? That's the y number. So we're going to use these y words here. Students who owe fees. Okay. You don't have to say number of, because this is the number of. How many students? The number of students is that. And now I have to make sure I explain the 0. That many students owe fees, okay, on, this is days of school, on 0 days of school. Okay. I really hope that this helped explain the concepts a little bit. An important thing to know is y-intercept uses we predict. Okay. The slope uses we predict. And the other type of sentence that we write is the relationship, but that says as the. And this doesn't have any numbers. This just has as the, increasing, decreasing. Just tell me about the dots. But these sentences are about the equation. They have lines, they have numbers and words. Great job, Math 1.